Hello, you logistical monsters. This time around we are taking a look at my efforts in Transport Fever 2 with the very hard difficulty trying to make my logistical dreams come true in a fairly quick manner. Here you can see my Steam mods used in this video. Couple of major mods I recommend to use are the achievements with mods, more line and vehicle colors, natural town growth, auto signals for train tracks, more industry levels, quieter bulldozer, industry expanded, and the performance tuning, which I forgot to activate for this session. We will be playing a very large map with 1:1 ratio, towns and industries very high, hilliness and forest a bit under the midpoint, and water at maximum. This will give a 16 by 16 kilometer map with 27 towns and 215 industries. Checking the random seeds to find something cool, and here is the seed in case you want to try your luck with the same map. Starting gear will be 1850, difficulty very hard, and other options as you see them here. Now let's go transporting. At the very beginning, pause the game and select your preferred game speed. I like to take my time and play with the quarter speed so that I have ample time to fiddle around with my initial endeavors before we get new upgrade technology. And as always, remember to save your game at the very beginning so you can come back and fix major lapses in judgment early in the game. Happens to all of us fairly often. Next, you take a look around the map and search for those juicy opportunities in your new transport empire. I decided to go with a fuel production line across a pretty long distance. Here, just south of Oundle, we have a full supply line opportunity to produce fuel. We will take this fuel to a harbor around here and then ship it across this lengthy distance to here in Ledbury. We will make a harbor here and move the fuel to the town by trucks. And then take this crude oil to the harbor and ship it back to the oil refinery at Oundle. This way we can make sure our ship is getting paid for both ways of the trip, so we will not have any deadheading for this main line we will be starting with. This will ensure that we will make profit both ways. Alright, let's get cracking. I will simply shut my mouth for this time lapse, so you can listen to the peaceful music and watch me build my lines. And here we are, our base fuel production lines built and configured. Next we need the ship lane and the endpoint production lines here at Ledbury. Enter the next time lapse. Our first ship is now on its way to make us some profit. The point behind me going with the ship lane is simply the fact that the railroad technology of this time period is mostly unprofitable. You can use them very well as support lines for your main ship lane, but you cannot produce profit with trains in this time period. After 1862, when you get the Borsig locomotive, you can start making a bit of profit with the railroad, but only so much. The reason is the lack of power and speed. Trains and railroad are much more expensive to build and maintain than ships, and since the only train of this time period, the D1/3, is weak and slow, you will not be able to make profit with it unless you have a perfect, long and flat line for it to run. So don't try to run a profitable railroad in very hard mode early in 1850s. I would recommend to hold your tits until 1875 when you get the BR-53, which is a much more powerful and a bit faster locomotive, offering you a much more versatile platform to create profit with railroads. I will start my first railroad for this video series at around 1857, but only to support the main ship lane by providing growth to the main city in focus, Ledbury. You will later on see how the finances of that railroad will not be great, but as a support line to serve the bigger picture, it's worth the money and the effort in the long run. So the basic gist of the beginning is to find a ship lane where you can serve a paying industry both ways, and then simply build the support lines for that ship lane. Bring the materials to the water at two relatively distant points. Transport them with ships. Make profit. Our first ship is now waiting to get some fuel to be delivered to Ledbury. I don't want to keep it waiting too long, so let's wait for some 40 or 50 units of fuel before we embark on its first trip. Here we go. Now it's all about biding our time, waiting for the first ship to make the first delivery. Of course, we also need to check that the crude oil line at Ledbury is functioning as intended, so that our ship will have some crude oil to deliver on its way back to Ondul. As you can see here, the ship already covered all of its expenses so far with over 100,000 in profit, and it wasn't even full of fuel. At this point, slowly but surely, I can make profit with this ship, creating a good opportunity to buy a second ship pretty soon. And therein lies the simple factor. Make enough profit with the first 5 million loan so that you are able to scale the already created main line to increase your profits, enabling you to pay off the debt and create more profit opportunities as you find them on the map. That is looking really good. Next, we need to remember to check our support lines so that the rate of transferred items is stable and adequate for the main ship lane. For example, here we need more space and more carriages to handle the fuel delivery to the town. Also, the crude oil line here needs additional carriages to supply enough crude oil for the ships. As it is now clear that this production line is well balanced and creating good amount of profit, I can simply take a small loan in order to scale the ship lane to the next level with the second ship. This will make the ship lane even more profitable, creating new opportunities faster and allowing us to invest even more into this ship lane. Remember to keep your finger on the pulse of every support line so that all of them are running well enough to at least break even, preferably creating some profits as well. As you can see here, all of my lines here in Oundle are running well and are creating profit. Soon enough you will be able to scale up again and buy a third ship. This will mean more and faster profit. Then, not much later, a fourth ship to get things going even faster. At this point, the fuel production line here in Oundle will struggle a bit to offer enough fuel for the ships, meaning some of the ships will have to wait a moment to get full cargo going. This is fine as long as the wait time is not too long. I will have to give more attention to optimize the current fuel production line to give it a little boost to handle the current demand. Now that I have the main line creating good profit, it's time to pay attention to the town we are focusing on and its other needs. One of the earliest ways to get a town to grow a bit and therefore grow the demand from your production line is to check some passenger opportunities that might be available. I'm going to build a simple bus line between Ledbury and Peacehaven to the south. And whenever possible, remember to pay back portions of the loan as you can to lower that loan interest you have to pay. As the demand for public transportation gets higher between the towns, I can start to work towards building my first tram line between Ledbury and Peacehaven. This will be a faster option with more carry capacity, making the public transport route even more appealing to the population in these towns, creating even more profit with the line. Just need to remember to sell the older, slower stagecoaches from the line, so they won't be slowing down the faster streetcars. Now that the main ship lane is doing well and we have a well-working, profit-creating public passenger line for Ledbury, it's time to search for other avenues for growth. For this, I search a possible line to bring tools to the town. And as it happens, north of Ledbury I find a pretty good opportunity for a railroad that might be working pretty well for this plan. So I will bring logs from here all the way to here. Then take the planks to the tools factory and bring it all the way back here. And then use trucks to deliver the tools to Ledbury. Alright, so let's get cracking once again. There it is. The Ledbury Tools Railroad project now done and running. Now we just need to keep an eye on this line and to manually check at every corner that the line starts to run properly without any tomfoolery taking place with the expensive train running on this line. As you can see, the finances of this train line are not shining any good light on our profit margins, but it seems good enough for now to run as it is, to support the growth of Ledbury. One of the main issues with this train line is the fact that it's running half empty in both ways, because of the need to use separate cars for the deliveries. I'll fix this problem later in the next episode, but for now I'll let it run as it is. That's my pretty solid start for my transport empire with the very hard difficulty. I'll have at least one more episode for this coming up sometime in the near future, but please let me know if you would like to see even more content of this sort. I make my content for my viewers, and without you, there is no point in making it. I hope you found this video useful and entertaining, and if you did, I hope you drop a like, perhaps a sub even, and comment on my endeavors to get started with the very hard difficulty in Transport Fever 2. I wish you a pleasant day, good times with the game, and I'll see you in the next video.